everybody, this is Jamie with everythingairplanes.com. I just want to give a little intro to the video that you're about to see. Last Tuesday during Airventure 2023, I came upon the P-51 Mustang Cavallino, and as I got up there, I noticed an elderly gentleman sitting in the cockpit. Well, I come to find out that the elderly gentleman sitting in the P-51 cockpit was a World War II B-17 pilot named Roland Martin. As they pulled him out, he got out of the airplane and kind of gave a victory shout, and he was so excited to be in that P-51. And then he and his friend took up residence under the right wing, and I got the following video, and it was just amazing to listen to this gentleman talk about his experiences and his crash landing in Germany and how he came back to befriend the farmers whose field he landed in. I would appreciate it if you shared this video with everybody that you know. It's very rare that you get an opportunity to hear directly from a World War II vet about his experiences during the war, and Roland deserves to be heard. His story needs to be told. I was so fortunate to be a part of this last week at Oshkosh, and I hope you guys appreciate it as much as I do. Greatest generation, without a doubt. This is Jamie with Everything Airplanes, signing off.
As this plane kept coming in and firing at us, the other three officers and an enlisted man were my top turret gunners, were still in the airplane. So I landed with them in the plane, and then went into prison camp, and a couple of years later, almost 2 years later, came back to this country. And I can tell you that the Statue of Liberty has never brought more tears than it did on our ship coming in. But I let it drop at that point. And then in 2005, Norbert Ballman, a reporter for a newspaper, and he wrote for the Schweinfurt News, whatever it was. Schweinfurt was the target. Okay. It was a ball bearing, sure, manufacturer. Well, anyway, so I left it and thought nothing about it until this German called, and he had heard about it, the stories that people had been telling, and he wanted to write about it. Sure. And he asked if he could ask me questions, and I said yes. But put them down in email. You send the questions, and those that I can answer, I will. And I think I could answer almost all of them. I mean, there was nothing strategic about it at all. But when he finished, he ran a series of 10 articles, and it was sold out over Germany. I mean, wow. He made himself some bones with that, and then we gave it up. And I didn't hear from him until 2005 when the telephone rang. As he was squirreling around trying to get information about what took place, this B-17 just within a couple hundred yards of this little town, 7,000 people, girls on. He kept getting questions and answers, and I kept giving him answers. And ultimately, and by the way, we still are in touch. He sends me Christmas cards, and birthday cards, yeah. And his wife, he and Mariana, a lovely lady. He was talking to a farmer. Norbert was talking to a farmer who said, "You know, I think I took some pictures back then when that plane was sitting on the ground." He said, "I don't really know what I did with the camera." But he looked around in the bottom drawer desk in his office. There it was, a little German camera. They took out the whatever it was, the film. Well, they took out the film, had it processed, and he got about a dozen excellent pictures.
Really?
Wow. Some of them, by the way, are shown in that website.
website, Roland Martin. If you look, just Google Roland Martin, you can read a couple of large museums in India. There's all kinds of things. Go on about your
and Schweinfurt, and you know, something else in there.
But there's more to the story about your daughter.
So there came a time when I had a daughter and a son, both over 70, and these are my children. But I wanted to get on better terms with my daughter, and so I thought I pictured it in my own mind to take a cruise line down the coast of Mexico or up to into Alaska, which I've been. It's a great trip.
This is for Roland. We got cold water.
Thank you. I'll put it in there. Thank you. But
That is so cool.
not right now. Norbert took us out. I said, where would you like to go? And she just like that. She said, Germany.
Okay.
So I said, well, have you been to Paris? And, no. How about London? No. Okay. So I scheduled a trip to Paris, to Frankfurt, to London, back home. And when we got to the field with Norbert and about 6 or 8 Germans, some of them were elderly farmers, and I was talking with them as I'm talking with you, and I said, and by the way, I've always mentioned that I thought I put down a pretty good landing.
Right.
I thought I'd smoothed it in, and I thought I had wheels up, but some of them were hanging down because they had been shut. The power had been shut off. Anyway, so there was a wheel bent back. And there was a little elderly German said, "No, you didn't make a good landing." He said, "I was there. I saw you came down, you hit and you bounced and then came down."
These are the coincidences of these things.
And I said, how is it that you can know this? And he said, I was there, 13 years of age. He said, I thought you were going to run over me, so I jumped into a ditch.
Wow.
And he was on my plane. And then, so he corrected me about that landing. It wasn't so good. But, and by the way, we're still friends.
Okay.
Then Norbert took me into town. This thing was started. Once we got into town, he wanted to show me one of the Bulgarian factories that had been decimated. And it was back out in the business. And a very well-dressed German walked up behind us and listened to some of my talk. And then, when I was talking about being shot down, he said, and his name is Paul, and he was the finance officer for Schweinfurt.
Okay.
He'd done quite well. And he said, yeah, and I may have been one of those who helped shoot you down. He said, I was, I think he said a 16-year-old feeding anti-aircraft shells, 88 shells, to the 88 gunners, anti-aircraft. And the 88 long gun was an outstanding weapon for the Germans. They could use it level or high. It could reach 35, almost 40,000 feet.
I wish my wife and my girlfriend would get along. That's the problem.
He said, I fed them shells and they were shooting at you. And who knows?
Right.
Okay. That's the story, and I hope that I've added a little to your trip.
Absolutely.
I can tell you this has really added to my trip.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing that.
You can see I'm doing okay now.
Yeah. What do you attribute for your longevity?
He's a treasure. He's a treasure.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know. I think part of it, and I'm serious about this. And I won't go into the detail about the camp that I was in, but it was primarily an American Air Force officers' camp. They separated the officers and the non-coms. And it was a fairly large camp, but it was filled with British North African fighters, and the Rommel had taken prisoner. And they moved them out because they were getting so many B-17 Air Force pilots and some, our cover were Spitfires and 47s, and both wonderful airplanes. But they could only fly to the Dutch coast, and then they turned around and went back. And then the Germans were circling. They came into us as soon as we got across the coastline. Well, when they opened, I was one of those that they took into Barth, Stalag lived one on the Baltic, just due north of Roland, and and we were flown out by the 379th Bomb Group, among others, but my group flown out. We were behind Russian lines, by the way, and they extracted a lot to allow us to be flown out. But they came in with B-17s. They landed, 4 engines turning. They put 20 people at a time on a B-17. The door was shut and off they went. They took about 7,000 American officers out of that camp. 7,000. They took 1,700, plus or minus some, English officers out of that camp. And 7, 8, almost 9, it was close to 10,000 people. All Air Force, all living, all shot down. So what do I attribute my long life? I understand that if you're a real athlete, as he is, and some of you might be as well, and you watch your diet, and you don't overeat, and you get very lean. Well, we got not watching our diet. We weren't fed in the last 4 months. And the Germans were not being fed either. I mean, it wasn't that they were withholding food for us.
It just wasn't.
And it just bits. But I went into the Air Force at 195, and I think I probably came out around 125 or 130.
Wow.
And I know I could put my hand around my upper arm, like the size of my wrist. So I think I was, believe it or not, I was in very good shape. I didn't feel starved at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like they were mistreating us at all.
I think it trained his system.
And that lasted, my stomach was this size for years.
Sure.
I think it had something to do with it.
I bet you.
Oh, that and I like martinis.
Awesome story, and you are a national treasure, I'm here to tell you. And I'm going to do this because I don't get a chance to sing happy birthday to somebody that's going to turn 100. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roland. Happy birthday to you.
Like that.
And many more. Thank you so much. Pleasure. You are a national treasure.